anybody is tuning in, if anyone can hear me. I cannot hear myself. I don't know. Ola, can you hear me? No, can you hear me coming through? Oh, okay, that's weird. I'm not able to hear myself, and I can't see any movement on the microphone. What's happening here? Can you guys? I can hear myself. Can someone else hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you through his through Ola's.
Oh, okay. Well, this is not a great start. I can't hear through the
My niece said it's
headphones.
silent.
Can someone else
It's
hear?
silent.
Yeah, it's currently silent. Intro played.
I heard the intro playing. I heard that.
Yeah, it's silent now.
Oh. I don't know. A 1 2 1 2. I can't hear myself. A 1 2 1 2. I hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. I know that it is, of course, a Let's Talk show where anything can happen. And oh my gosh, it usually does. I'm not quite sure. That took a lot of technical management there, which is unfortunate because my wonderful graduates are with me this morning. This is their first show. They've come in to observe, and I guess what I'm doing is showing them how sometimes things don't go according to plan. I think theory is one thing, but practical is another. So, guys, good morning. It is, of course, the Let's Talk show live with the girl Blaze. There is no big E today, but we do have Ola in the studio. Ola, of course, is live streaming on YouTube on Nico Soft TV. So for those of you that are tuning in on air, you might want to switch over and check us out on YouTube. And then you can see my wonderful guest today. So today's show is entitled The Graduates. You're going to find out why. All three of my guests are under the same title today. Today's quote goes like this: "If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be." And that is a quote by Maya Angelou. If you are always trying to be normal, whatever that is, you will never know how amazing you can be. And what's wonderful is today I have three of my recent graduates, and they are all fabulous individually and collectively. And if we were all the same, wouldn't it be an absolutely boring place? So welcome to the Let's Talk show live and the Chalk Hill Community Radio Station. The Chalk Hill Community Radio Station is all about keeping the community together. And today's show is sponsored by Lloyd Montague of Forever Living. Lloyd, thank you for being my sponsor. Thank you for being my provider of wonderful aloe vera gifts. And thank you for being my virtual radio assistant. Lloyd always lets me know if you can hear me, if you can't hear me. So he's not just a sponsor, he's one of my good up friends. So thank you, Lloyd. But of course, the Let's Talk show is the real talk show. I mean, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And of course, have you been living your best life? If you've done anything new, if you've been living your best life, then message me here on 07956548781. That's also the number if you want to get involved in the show today. Please send a text message. If any of our guests today is the reason you've tuned in, you can send them a message and tell them how well they are also doing. So I look forward to hearing from you. If it is your first time, you are very welcome. And if you're a regular or a silent listener, then welcome back and thank you for your continued support. A special morning shout goes out to Celia and Al, who tune in before I do. So thank you also. Sometimes silent, sometimes otherwise. I can see Celia giving me a thumbs up saying, yes, she can hear me. Thank you very much. And good morning to you also. So, wow, what can I say? This month has been amazing, and it's only just started, but I've had the most calls for so many events for me to either host at, be a panel member, or just simply show up. So this month's going to be busy, and I'm looking forward to the month of June. But last week, Sunday, we ended May with an absolute bang for the Bring Back Sundays. I want to send a special shout out to Piper, who joined me at the Bring Back Sundays, and we had this karaoke session. I mean, it was just absolutely hilarious, including my 6-year-old grandson telling me which songs I could sing. But this month is going to be the first anniversary. So it's more than a year that young Tamar came onto the show and spoke about an event that was coming up. And now it's leading up to a year, the anniversary of the event. I really want to urge you to come out to the event. It's the last Sunday of the month. It's a family affair. And it's a great initiative by a young man who really is just very nostalgic about his childhood and his upbringing and how family meant spending Sundays together. And I was just thinking about that with somebody who sent me an invitation, and I think it was an afternoon tea or something, and they were talking about corned beef sandwiches. Now, I have to tell you, I haven't eaten meat for a really long time, and especially, I don't think I've eaten corned beef for about 30 years maybe or something like that, but I really haven't eaten it for a long time. But it did take me back to the days when corned beef sandwiches, cheese sandwiches, ham sandwiches, cocktail sticks. Somebody was here talking about cocktail sticks recently, but how it all signifies an era when we spent time together. And that's what Bring Sundays Back is all about, because there were times when we had, our parents had the birthday parties, and we were upstairs in the room where everyone's coat was, ramping all over people's coats, sneaking down and looking through the staircase at our parents dancing. But we were having fun with our friends and then people that we referred to as our cousins, and sneaking down for the corned beef sandwiches. So if you've got anything reminiscent like that, anything nostalgic, come down to Bring Back Sundays. Now, we don't have corned beef sandwiches, but we do have a really nice Sunday dinner, which Tamar cooks. But there's dominoes, there's Monopoly. The children run up and down, they run inside and outside. There's great food, great fun. And like I said, last month we had karaoke. So that's the last Sunday of the month down at the Unity Centre. Come down and join us. The more, the merrier. And it's intergenerational. So if you've got a newborn baby, bring your newborn baby. If you've got a grandma that's 103, bring her too. So bring all of your family with you. We also had a session for children who had additional support needs. And I say that because people refer to their children in different ways. Some say differently abled. Some will say that their children have autism, or their children have dyslexia, whatever it is. But whatever it is that you use to refer to your child with additional needs, know that your child is special, and we take this very seriously. And we have space upstairs for you to speak with other families, because sometimes we feel a bit alone when we're in some situations. And you've also got Cheryl Phoenix of the Black Child's Gender, who will help you and support you in a number of different areas. So there's more than one reason to come down to Bring Back Sundays. Okie dokie. So what else is happening tomorrow? I've got 3 events tomorrow. So it kickstarts in Neasden Shopping Centre, Main Culture Barbershop. They have got their health show and fun day in Neasden Shopping Centre from the hours of 11 until 5 p.m. I will be hosting, there's a panel, the number of health professionals, and I will also be hosting the Q&A. Running almost at the same time as the Kidney Awareness Day, going to be held at the Leary Constantine Centre. You may remember a couple of weeks ago, our special guests were my sister Anita, and we also had Vina, and they're both about raising awareness, and this is taking place tomorrow as well. And it will be from 12:45 p.m, finishing at 5:30, and that will be at the Leary Constantine Centre. And then I'm going off somewhere up in North London, I think it's Enfield, to a concert. It's a tribute to John Holt, so 1,000 Volts of Holt. And this tribute is going to be done by Michael Mendes, who has showed up at a number of our health events. So I'm going to be doing that. And then by Monday, I don't know, I guess it might be sleep time. So busy weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you're doing this weekend. 07956 548 781. And it's your girl Blaze. And it's my absolute pleasure to be with you this morning. Then on the 26th of June, I'm sure I've got something in between that, but on the 26th of June from 6:30 till 10 p.m, I'm going to be hosting an event called Windrush to Wembley. And I'm going to be hosting with H-Boss, and special guests will be Mr. C and LA Gray. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that is in Wembley. 27th of June, see how quickly we've got to the end of the month. 27th of June is the screening of Snowball. Now, some of you may remember we had the Mackenzie brothers on, and their organisation is called Mad 4 Films. And they have got a new screening, a new film. With Snowball, and it is an amazing film about life in care, out of care. Bit of a triggering watch, but it's important for us to sometimes have these difficult conversations about mental health, about abuse, about child abuse, albeit very uncomfortable. But it's good if you can be in a space where there are other people who can understand some of what you've been through and may offer some comfort. So if you're interested in seeing the screening of Snowball, then of course contact me here at the studio. Stay tuned in, guys, because after my show today at 1:30, we have Charles, and he's talking about health, wellness, and the well-being hour. So after my show, just grab yourself a cup of tea, and then get yourself back in your seat and get ready for listening into Charles' show. But in the meantime, I'm going to kickstart with one song that I came across yesterday, and I thought, I quite like this song, and I think it's very fitting for today. We just need to take our time. and get ready for my guest who was waiting patiently. He was very early in the studio. I'm having a fight with the microphone now. This is what I love about live radio. So some of you will have heard me mention that I recently ran a radio presenters course, and I love them. Every single one of them is different. Each one is just different from the one before. And so today's show is entitled The Graduates, because I've got 3 of my graduates with me. As always, the Let's Talk show has a quote, and today's quote is, if you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. And whenever you've got a room of like 15 people or 20 people or however many people you've got, even sometimes 2 or 3, everybody is different. So what is normal? What does that mean? And it means different things to different people. And sometimes those people that deem themselves to be normal and think that other people are not normal, it's the people that they think are not normal are wondering, what is this normal? It's kind of like, what is this, kind of what is this all about? So I say that to say, I think I've had one of the students or graduates now on, I think Robert was the first one. But I'm hoping that you're going to hear from all of the new graduates before they go live with their own show. And this is a great opportunity for them to be in this studio and feel what it's like to be the guest. Because I remember it was a while before I was asked to be a guest, and it felt really weird. So I want to introduce you to one of the many graduates that I hope are going to be coming up and joining us over the next couple of weeks. And one thing I can say about this graduate is that anyone that's done training with me knows that I'm an absolute stickler for time. If you remember nothing else about my training, you will always say Blaise was always going on about time. Well, this individual, he wasn't even on time. He sometimes arrived before me. There was never a moment where he was even 30 seconds outside of the time. And today, of course, he was in the studio before I was. I want to introduce you now to Mohan. Mohan, thank you for joining me on the Let's Talk show live. How are you doing?
Very well, Blaise. Thank you very much.
Let me see, can we hear Mohan? Has he got a nice loud voice? I know that Mohan's got a very calm voice. Say good morning one more time.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Blaise.
Okay, but we can work with that. We can work with that. So, thank you for joining us this morning. So, Mohan, you have lived in London for quite a long time. Tell us a bit about your background, where you were born, and a little bit about you before you came to London.
Okay, well, I was 1 year old when I came to London in 1960 from India. I came on a ship called Strathaired from Bombay.
Okay.
And that was December 1960, and I've been in London ever since. So I've had all my upbringing, education, and so on here.
Here in the UK.
Yes.
And do you travel back to India at any time?
I've been back to India probably a dozen or more times, probably about 24 times.
About 24 times.
Yes.
And what do you think about the cultural differences? Because I'm thinking you came at one, so you wouldn't have any real memory of it before coming to the UK. But since you've travelled back, what are some of the cultural differences that you notice between the two places?
Well, it's a distant memory of India when I think about it, because I feel half Indian and half British.
Okay.
My body is Indian, but my thinking is English.
That's interesting. Your body is Indian, but your thinking is English.
Yes.
Wow.
So I don't think so much in how an Indian person thinks. And I don't really have too many memories of India as an Indian person. But I do find the culture of India very, very striking. And it's something I picked up from an early age.
So is that how you were raised? Were you raised in what you refer to as an Indian culture, or were you raised in what you refer to as your UK thinking self? How do you think you were raised?
It's a combination of the two. I was very much speaking to my mother in Hindi my father in English.
Oh, I see.
So it was a combination of the two. But in terms of culture, I always, well, from the age of about 10, I realized that what I really wanted to find out about myself was how I fit into both cultures and transcend British culture and Indian culture. And so when I came to what I would say Krishna consciousness, I transcended both cultures and was able to talk about myself from a spiritual point of view, even though, as I say, my body is Indian and my thinking is English.
Do you know one thing though, Mohan? I think everybody in the group would agree that not just that your thinking is English, but you just come out with these nuggets like my body is Indian, but my thinking is British. You always drop these liners that made everyone else think differently about something that we were discussing. But you were educated here in the UK. You were educated in Oxford, is that right? Were you at Oxford University?
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
I studied engineering science. I went to Marylebone Grammar and did my O-levels, my 10 O-levels, then my 5 A-levels. And then I was good enough then to go up to Oxford and study engineering science. And I was a bit traumatized when I went up because I didn't fit in. I didn't really feel, I did a huge amount of freshers courses and all kinds of things which people do when they go up to university. But somehow I kind of lost it.
Was it to do with the fact that you had left home? Because I think the transition to university is different. It's not like going to college because often, you know, young people leave their family, they leave their hometown, they're having to go into adulthood, you know, cook for themselves, sort out their finances, and study in a self-directed way as opposed to kind of how you do that and in high school. Do you think that was the issue, or was it more of a social thing? What was it for you?
Well, it was both. It was leaving home and starting to do everything for myself for the first time. And because from the age of about 10, I became very introverted. I stopped almost talking to everyone. I didn't have any friends at school.
Okay.
And so I ended up being just spending all my time and energy just studying.
So would you speak to people at home though, or were you just not speaking to people?
Not speaking to people at all.
Oh.
Not at home, not at school, not anywhere.
What, like totally mute or selective, a bit kind of as and when?
I was mute everywhere. I was just studying 100% of the time.
Wow.
I was in the library studying, like taking 6 books out at a time.
And just reading through all 6 books?
Yes, pretty much. I was so absorbed in my studying that I didn't really think about talking to anyone else. And so I didn't talk for maybe about 50 years.
How many years?
Well,
15 or 50?
50.
50.
50. And so it was only...
You didn't talk to anybody?
Well, pretty much. I was always very quiet and mute. And it was only after I published my book that I realized that talking and expressing myself was very important. And so I did that in 2019. But it took me a long time to come out of my shell, and I still have a long way to go.
Interestingly, you say that for you, you have a long way to go. I mean, the thought of not speaking for 50 years, 50, I have to keep repeating the 50 to be clear that it's not 15 and that it is 50. It must really be something to change that, as you said, and maybe something you can't change on your own. But what I did find actually, and what I find now, is that you're a very good communicator and you do speak. In fact, you volunteer conversation, because often people that are mute, They speak when spoken to, if they have to. But what I've noticed with you is that the more you've got to know us, you now speak. Invite conversation. So you told me something openly today. So I just want to say well done, because I think you've come a long way, and that, like I said, the things that you said when we were together in the course was amazing. But I do want to say something that I found out about you in our conversations, our pre-conversations. And this is what I'm trying to map together. Because Mohan, you said you didn't speak for 50 years, but
Well,
you've...
I didn't speak for 50 years after the age of 10.
Okay.
So it was a transformation that happened to me at the age of 10
Yeah.
that made me go inwards, and that kept me inwards for 50 years.
Yeah, but you've had 3 marriages.
So I was 60 before I came out of my shell. And yes, I've had 3 marriages, but I didn't understand women at all in those marriages. And so it was a real education for me to try and see where I was with women and where they were with me.
You know, Mohan, some will say they still don't understand women. You know that, right?
Well, people, I don't understand women, but I'm learning. That's all I can say.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, I just found that I was quite surprised. I was like, 3 marriages. I was quite surprised about that. But you talk about lots of reading, and you talk about a journey, because one of the things you did share with us in the class was that you did suffer a mental breakdown in 1982.
Yes, I think it was because I was socially withdrawn from a very young age, and because I didn't talk, I kept everything. It was all bottling up,
Yeah, sure.
and so it was inevitable almost that I was not going to. I was going to have a breakdown, and my teachers, my tutors, they all noticed this withdrawn behaviour from an early age. They wrote about it in my reports, and they said he's very academically very good, but he needs to relax and enjoy himself,
Sure.
and needs to come out.
Come out of himself.
Yes, precisely. I was just reading my reports just in the last few days, and I noticed that I was very withdrawn then, and I think my breakdown had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, interestingly, thank you for offering to share that, because we did have a conversation about whether that was something you wanted to share. So thank you for sharing that, because this conversation will help someone else who perhaps is feeling a little bit mute at the moment, who's probably having a bit of a difficult time at the moment. I think the conversation with you hopefully will give them some hope, because sometimes we think other people don't understand, and quite often people don't. But thank you for sharing that. But we talk about, trauma and transformation. We talk about turning pain into purpose. And one of the things you did, you started writing, and you wrote a book, How to Eliminate Anxiety for 8 Billion People. Is that right?
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Well, in that book, I was trying to say that one of the most important things about getting over anxiety is to be able to talk. Talk to anyone and everyone when you're anxious. And if you can do that, if you can just do that one thing, that's enough to get rid of your anxiety. And I found that when I was anxious and sometimes even panic-stricken,
Yeah.
I would phone the Samaritans, and within about 10, 15 minutes of conversation, I was able to overcome that. And
Brilliant.
I think women know this normally, naturally already, and they talk about their problems. But men find that much more difficult. But I personally found it impossible
Impossible to talk.
to talk.
Yeah.
But I realised if I can just talk about whatever I need to do, whatever I need to talk about, if I can just talk about it, then that gets me over my anxiety.
Fabulous. So, guys, if you've just joined us, it's the Let's Talk Show live with your girl Blaze. Today's show is entitled Graduate. My first guest today, Mohan, he's such a powerhouse. He talks about his body being Indian and his thinking being British. He talks about having two different types of conversations in different dialects. One with his mum. I almost had a different dialect there. Did you hear that? One with his mum and one with his dad. He's also shared openly that he's had 3 marriages. He says he doesn't understand women, or he didn't. But I think you're going to find out a bit later that Mohan's up for a 4th one. We're going to ask him about that. He's also written a book, though, about how to eliminate anxiety for 8 billion people. Mohan says that talking to the Samaritans helped him when he was having a difficult time because he found talking impossible. But here he is today with a very strong voice, and he's also going to be having his own show. Not sure if it's podcast or radio, but we're going to have that conversation. So, Mohan, 3 marriages, but you say that you're up for a 4th.
Yes, I promised my mother in 1982 I would get married 4 times.
You promised your mum.
Yes, and she laughed and said, "Get on with it."
Oh, brilliant.
And so, just somehow by fate, my 3 marriages failed. And I feel that I need to get married a 4th time because personally I would like to have children. My first 3 marriages, my wives didn't want children. Maybe they saw something in me that was a bit insecure or something. And so we didn't have children. So, and that's something that I think is important for me.
Nice. And the other thing is that Mohan used to say these things in class, right? And we would just find it hilarious. And that's without him even trying. But you said you did stand-up comedy, didn't you? Talk to us about that.
I did stand-up comedy in 2024. I did a comedy course for 10 weeks.
10 weeks, wow.
And then that was at the Comedy Store in Leicester Square. And then I actually performed for a short skit, and about 150 people came to that. They really enjoyed it. And it was just me coming out of my shell, talking about myself, and just laughing about myself, which I found impossible again. But
What, to laugh at yourself?
Yes. But I really enjoyed it. And then they took us to Estonia. We did 2 performances there.
Do you know what's quite profound about your story is that you've gone from like not speaking at all for nearly longer than I've even been alive, right? And then you are able to bring yourself out of that. But not just bring yourself out of it, you've gone on stage and you've thought about telling jokes. Do you know that comedy is really quite hard, actually? I did a comedy course. I did 1 performance I will not be doing anymore. I can tell you that. But I take my hat off to you because going from not speaking to anybody to like speaking to an audience, public speaking, to speaking to 150 people, that really is magnificent. So well done.
Thank you. I think the one joke I only remembered for 50 years was, if I can just say this, is why is it dangerous to play in the jungle?
I don't know. I'm a bit worried about the answer. I don't know.
Because there's too many cheaters.
Oh, there's too many cheaters. I think. But do you know what though, Mohan? You said one earlier that made myself and Ola laugh. You said, and I know the style of comedy. We were talking about women, and you said women are something and something and something. Can you remember that?
Well, I was saying I went to the good, the bad, and the money grabber.
Oh yeah, the good, the bad, and the money grabber, and we had a conversation about that. But you, I think, should celebrate yourself because that's wonderful. So before we crack on to being a radio presenter, you spoke about using talking as a way of kind of helping you to feel better, helping you out of those moments when it's a little bit dark and a bit uncertain. And now you've gone on to do some other stuff that seems quite nice. You're interested in growing and gardening, and I think you've got an allotment or some growing space. Let's have a conversation about that.
Yes, this is my new passion, my new adventure, my new project in life. And I've taken up a lot of projects over the years, but this one has really grabbed me. It's something which I would really love to develop. I've Brent Council have just recently given me an allotment in the last month, and one of my colleagues suggested I watch a video on square foot gardening, which was invented by Mel Bartholomew in America 50 years ago. And it's a very simple means of growing, it's the world's most popular growing method to harvest more food from less space. And
It's called square foot gardening.
square foot gardening, which when I saw the video on that, 6 minutes, it completely blew my mind, and I realized that this is exactly what I wanted to do for a long time. And so I've taken it up seriously. I've been studying it at the British Library and reading books up on it and watching videos and talking to a lot of people about it, in particular people on my allotment. I have a list of 10 allotmenteers who've also taken up square foot gardening. But in addition, I've taken about 20 other people to my allotment, and I'd like to develop a whole plan of action to grow fruits, vegetables, herbs, flowers, all manner of things.
What is it about being in that space when you're gardening? What is it for you? What does that feel like for you?
Well, it's just the joy of raising seeds from, raising these things from the ground or from square foot raised beds, and seeing them grow. And it's something which I did in my flat just about 5 years ago. And I found that it was a great joy just seeing these little plants grow and grow. And personally, I'm doing this now because I'd like to become self-sufficient in food. So,
And you've been studying, you've brought something with you. I know that people listening on air can't see it, but can you describe the bits that you've brought with you? You said you bought a garden square, or you've brought something with you. Tell us what that is.
yes, I'm planning to have a square foot garden box, 4 foot by 4 foot, where in 16 square feet I will grow 16 different plants, and each square box will have up to 16 seeds planted in it, so that there could be up to 256 plants in this 4 foot by 4 foot box.
So is this the map of it? Have you created a map of what you want this square to look like?
Yes, absolutely. And it's having it so that you have crop rotation and companion planting and staggered planting all within the plan of action. So it's quite complicated, and I still have to get my head around it. But once it unfolds, then it should be something worthwhile seeing.
Do you know, Mohan, I used to have a real issue with, I don't know how you feel about this, plants surviving. Many plants came and many left. Many of them didn't survive. But I have to say, as I've got older, I've found, or I have a newfound love for the plants. Like if I go on holiday, I worry about whether my plants are still going to be alive when I come back. And I regularly water them and do whatever, etc., because it adds some kind of level of therapy. So it's very therapeutic, and I quite like and enjoy that. So I can understand how something like that would be useful for you. Talk to us now about how you came to be on the radio training. How did that happen?
Something that I was thinking about.
I don't know if we can get you, and I can't get, people are saying that they can't hear you, but I just cannot get you any louder, and I'm not quite sure what to do. But let me just see if I, just hold for a second. Let me see if I can just manoeuvre a bit. Oh dear. I don't know if it's, I don't want the mic to drop out. Is it not very loud on YouTube either? we were talking about how you came to be on the radio presenters course. Talk to us about that.
Well, I was very anxious to get on the course, and I spoke to John over about a month when I first saw the notice at Chalk Hill Community Centre, and I wanted to sign up to it straight away, but John kept in touch with me, and eventually I was able to go on the course because it was something that would help me come out of my shell and allow me to express myself. And I didn't really have any preconceived ideas about what I wanted to talk about, but I think it's something that I would love to continue, particularly as I have something to talk about now in terms of my gardening.
Okay, so you're probably going to do a garden show. We do have something that's like a sort of return to nature show, and that's quite a unique show. So for those people that are interested in gardening and nature and peace, I think your show will match nicely with that show that we have there. Just quickly before we go to your song, you do a lot of writing, and you've written over 250 journals, books, diaries, etc. Is that right?
Yes, I started in 2006 when I read The Right to Write and The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron.
Oh yeah, The Artist's Way. I've read that book.
Yes, it was completely mind-boggling. And so I started writing after that. And every day I would write 3 pages, where that was like I forget what she called it now, but it was your dumping your mind on paper for 3 pages a day. And I did that for a long time before I started writing in books and journals and diaries. And
Fabulous.
Extremely helpful.
Yeah, that was a good book. I think what I liked about that was talking about dating and dating yourself. So Mohan, listen, you've been amazing, but we're going to go to your song choice now. Your song choice was I'm a Believer. Tell us why that was the song that you've chosen.
I don't know. It's just something that it was a very nice jingle about it. It really felt something that I was feeling, where I believe in not just one person but everyone.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice song choice. So guys, Mohan has been my first graduate. I've got 2 other graduates coming up, but we're now going to play I'm a Believer, which is Mohan's song choice.
I thought love was only true
Wow, that was a really interesting conversation. Apparently, some of you couldn't hear it very well, so apologies for that. Big shouts to everybody tuning in on YouTube. Thank you to all of my other graduates. You too will be coming on the show. So if you've not been on yet, get yourselves ready, saddle up. You will be coming on the show. And of course, you're going to be doing your own show. So shouts out to Sonia, who's helping with, and Esther's listening in as well. And Valerie Greenway, shouts out to you too. We've got the fabulous I Am Vanessa Brown. Hey Vanessa, how you doing? So yes, thanks guys for tuning in. It's an absolute pleasure to have you joining us. Okay, so we continue with the graduates. Now, somebody mentioned my ability to remember specific things about those that were part of the radio training. And although there's like 20 people or 20 plus people, I managed to connect with all of them. Now, I remember saying to Flex, who's the co-trainer, I said, Flex, do you know there's this young lady, and she comes in, once the show started, once the training started, but then I never really get to connect her because she always has to leave. And he was like, oh, where does she sit? And I said, she sits in the corner. Every week she'd sit in the corner, and I'd be like, I need to try and get to her, but I could never really get to her because she'd run off. But my next guest is Letitia. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Letitia, you are going to demonstrate that I spoke to everybody about what it means to have a radio voice. So this is your first opportunity. You're going to say good afternoon, good morning from the seat of your soul, and they're going to say, doesn't she have a wonderful voice? So good. Is it still morning or is it afternoon? Okay, we're 2 minutes to afternoon, so we're just going to say good morning, and welcome to the Let's Talk Show Live.
Good morning and welcome to the Let's Talk Show Live.
That's good. So Letitia, thank you so much for joining us today. So keep that voice up because I understand that you are a tutor, which means you must use your tutor voice, your teacher voice, very loudly. But guys, this is a Let's Talk Show Live with your girl Blaze. Today I'm interviewing my wonderful graduates from my last cohort of training. I'm excited to hear how they're going to show up in the studio. I'm excited to see what they're going to think about being in situ. So today's show is entitled The Graduates, and with every Let's Talk show, we have a quote. And today's quote, Letitia, is, if you are always trying to be normal, how will you ever know how amazing you can be? And I remember running that joke with you because you were always in the corner, and I was like, sorry, I know this sounds a bit weird, but I've got to say it. Nobody puts Letitia in the corner. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And it made me laugh because the thing is, I think I'm someone, I'm quite routine. So I did gravitate to that chair on the first session of yours, and then after that, I just constantly went back to that section.
No, you're not the only one. Most people do that. Normally, if they sit in a seat on the first day of a training course, you can almost guarantee they will sit in that seat until it's finished. It's very rare that people move around, and then they might sort of connect with somebody, and then therefore they think, oh, I'll sit with you this week because you kind of know them. But tell us a little bit about your background. This is my real opportunity to get to know you a bit more. Don't forget to use the microphone, stay close to it, and use your best voice. There you go.
So a bit of background. So from 0 to 5, I was living in Croydon.
Okay.
My heritage comes back from Ghana, which a bit like Mohan, I've been to numerous times as well. I think it's really good to be able to know all sides of yourself.
Sure.
So yes, then from 0 to 5 was in Croydon. Thank goodness we're not anymore. Not against anything against Croydon, but yeah, it's changed quite a lot over the years. And then we went more to North London.
Okay.
So we was in like Kentish Town, Camden, and yeah.
Nice. So what is it about is it Ghana you said?
Yeah.
What is it about your Ghanaian heritage that you love?
What do I love? I feel like when I'm there, it's definitely a breath of fresh air. I say the term loosely, fresh air though, because there's a lot of burning going on, there's a lot of cooking going on. So there's a lot of fumes, but it's
that's
nice,
good air.
It's nice there. It's good air because it's different and it's warm. So yeah, I think it's nice to have the best of both worlds. So then when I land back, everything here seems very ordered and routine.
Yeah.
It's calm in a sense. You notice there's not like loads of horns beeping and this and that. So I think it's nice that I've got a culture clash.
Nice. So, what do you remember about childhood and education? Because you're a tutor, so you're
Yeah.
into tutoring and education. What was education like for you as a young person? Remember to stay close to the mic, Gally.
I'd say for me, education was key. My dad was quite the disciplinarian. I remember I would watch things like Grange Hill, Biker Grove, and then by 5:30, TV was off, time to sit down, get maths done. And at the time, it was really hard and quite regimented. But as years have gone on, I see it's actually really good and really key. Because thank goodness my mum was the softer one.
Okay.
If you've got two harsh parents, that must be very hard. It's lucky for me, my mum was quite soft, but when my dad was quite hard.
So you think it was quite a good balance?
Yeah.
Did you like school? Did you like learning?
I did like school. I didn't like maths. I found maths extremely difficult and frustrating. But history, drama, English, I loved all that. Yeah.
Nice. And so you went on to be, I don't know if this was your first job or not, you speak about being a life skills tutor. Is that a career that you've always been in, or is that a more recent career?
Yeah, so initially it was more going down media PR routes. And what happened, I was actually working for a PR company in Notting Hill. And so we just deal with like different accounts. We had like certain celebrities, we'd have to book their radio day. Maybe if they were doing a shoot, just make sure they had right bookings and cars and things like that. So it was interesting. But then at the same time, sometimes you'd meet some of these clients and they were nightmares, like really rude, really arrogant. And I was just thinking, like, is this really the route I should be going down? So some days were good, some days not so good. But then on the weekends, I was doing youth work.
Okay.
So then what happened, I started loving the youth work projects on the weekend and then dreading being in the office in Notting Hill on the Monday. So that's when I started getting more into education and youth work and kind of veering away from that part of PR.
Yeah, because the thing is with work, I'm a real advocate for the fact that you spend a lot of your waking hours, a lot of your life you spend in the place that they refer to as your workplace. And you spend a lot of time with people as they refer to as your work colleagues. But there's this whole thing about, wouldn't it be nice if you could do the thing that you loved and loved the thing that you do and do it in a time that was kind of more suited to you? So you might love PR, but you knew there was some stuff that went with that. And then you were doing the youth stuff at the weekend and you kind of, aired a bit more towards that. But wouldn't it be wonderful if work could be a place that, because we're there so often, that we enjoyed doing? And that's the beauty of radio, I got to tell you. That's the beauty of me being here, because what I love doing is I love working with people like yourself and people like Mohan and our next guest, because that just allows me to work in a really beautiful way and I meet lots of wonderful people with great stories. So guys, you remember at the beginning of the show, I said, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And of course, have you been living your best life? If you have, message me here on 07956 548 781. That is also the number to get involved in the show and have a chat, maybe, and ask Letitia some questions about what she loves about being a tutor. In fact, I think I might just ask you that question now. Actually, now it's come up. What do you love? What is it about being a tutor that you love?
I think what it is I think it's when you see the kind of like breakthrough moment, and especially me, I'm also based in Peru, and I was delivering English and PSHE lessons.
Do you want to explain two things? What is a PRU and what is PSHE?
Yeah, no, everyone's not in education. But yeah, so if you are lucky and you're really good and highly academic, you may love mainstream. So that's going to a standard secondary school, your standard primary school. But that's the whole point of a stream. Everyone's not the same, and sometimes people kind of divert from the stream. And so that's when we have things that are made up of SEND schools or pupil referral units. So pupil referral units kind of take.
So is that the PRU?
The PRU is, yeah, but its the real name is pupil referral unit. So they kind of take on the learner who might be fighting, kind of not doing so well academically, just struggling in school in any shape or form. And so they might end up down the PRU route. And as much as you read them on paper, like, oh, they're always fighting, this one's throwing a chair, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, what's he going to do to me? Sometimes when you get them in the actual classroom, where there's a lot smaller classes, maybe 8 or 9 of them, you kind of see a different side. They're not angels, but it's not always as terrible as you thought.
I think sometimes it's about understanding, like you quite rightly said, we learn in different ways, we have different learning styles. And sometimes when people talk about children's behaviour, it's just because there's often this one size fits all, right? And so we can't all fit into the same you know, if say shoes were only a size 7, those that have size 7 foot, you're good. But if you have a 5, it's going to be dropping off, you know, and it's a 7 shoe. And if you have an 8 or a 9, then definite bunions, and your foot's going to be cramped, and it's not going to be great. And that's very much the same with education. So you're working in Peru. Talk to us about PHSE, which is something else you mentioned for those that don't know.
Yeah, so PSHE is more so to do with pretty much life skills. So maybe confidence building, public speaking, budgeting somehow, because someone might get their pocket money straight away. It's all gone on games and this and that. So it's kind of just general life skills, how to treat people. And obviously a lot of them are there for behaviour. So it's like key. They learn how to speak to people, how to be patient. And I think sometimes it's not always their fault, because I'll share one story. I won't obviously say any names.
Yeah, sure.
But he really upset me that day, only because
He upset you.
he upset me only because of what he said. I was like, oh my goodness, that really hits home as to why he behaves the way he does. He had quite a tricky relationship with his dad, and I think one day he said he must have gone on Instagram, and he was like, oh miss, guess what? And I goes, oh, what happened? He goes, oh, my dad liked my the new picture I put up. And I was like, okay. He goes, yeah, I got these trainers and my dad liked the post. And I was like, oh, that's really good. And then I was like, is that it? Like, your dad liked your post. He didn't buy you the trainers or go with you to get the trainers. It was just the fact his dad liked the post. And I don't know how, the last time we saw his dad was probably like a month or 2 ago. And so just that little act, and it showed you that these boys are so fragile and they've got so much kind of emotion in them. And so you see this really hard exterior, but sometimes it's just the littlest thing, like liking your son's post, that could just make his whole day. And I kind of got upset because I kind of took it for granted, you know, that that's just how a parent shows off. But
I love that as a story, because you're quite right. Parenting is not easy for lots of people. And we parent sometimes in the way that we were parented, and that might not have been a great model, although it might do. Or it might not suit the particular child. And each child should be parented differently, whether you've got 6 children, 10 children, or 2. They should be parented differently to a degree, because they've got different personalities. Right. And you're absolutely right that something as small as acknowledgement of your child or something they're doing can make a big difference. And I think the same is true in education as well. Right. Sometimes that's all they need, someone to say, well done, I've seen you, that's a great piece of work. Or, oh, those shoes are really nice.
Yeah, it comes down to like what you were saying, one size doesn't fit all. So sometimes you might get a piece of work and they've literally written 5 lines, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I was expecting an essay, at least like 2 pages. But for that learner, that's as much as he could do. In mainstream, he might be doing 2 words. Yeah. He felt overwhelmed. He's not the brightest in the room. So you kind of have to kind of tailor it to the individual. That's what I'd say. And I've kind of learned to adapt to that.
But it's interesting, because today's quote is about, if we're just trying to be normal, if we're just trying to fit in, our own individual greatness can be hidden. And that's what I think about the radio presenter program. Not all of you are going to do talk shows. Not all of you are going to do music shows. You're not all going to have music in your talk show, and you're not all going to have talk in your music show. Some of you are going to do radio, and some of you are going to do podcast. And whilst there are some kind of boundaries around some of the things you do and don't do, I think largely it's about people expressing their creativity. So how did you end up sitting in the corner of my training program? How did you end up there?
I think it was something to me, like I have worked on media projects with the young people, and so they kind of connected up through music and talk radio and things like that, and I've always had an interest in that as well. So coming in doing media and PR, so I was just like, oh, I'd really love to kind of get involved. So I was kind of scrolling online looking like, oh, what can I kind of immerse myself in? And luckily I came across this project. It was a little further afield for me, but something told me, no, I need to follow through and just do this, and I think it's gonna be really beneficial. And it did turn out that I did have to obviously leave a little early just because of the distance, but at the same time, the majority I was there, I really felt involved and like I was actually gaining knowledge.
So are you saying that you just saw it online? You were just looking for it to saw it online?
This is it. I was looking for kind of a creative outlet, still radio based, media based, and then it kind of found me. I just read for it. I was like, yeah, this sounds like a bit of me, and let me see.
Oh, that's good. And I say that's good because it's always important to know where your marketing is reaching. So,
Okay.
because sometimes it's word of mouth, or someone says, "Oh, my friend told me about it." So I'm glad that you saw it somewhere, and that should give you some confidence about when you're doing your show, that you know that your show could end up in anyone's hands, and that information could. So, what did you learn about yourself then through the process of the course? What did you learn about you?
I learned not to judge too quickly, because I think we did one exercise where we were given these different images of people, and then we had to figure out what job role they might do. Who's the lawyer? Who's the doctor? Who's the teacher? And I loved it because your mind kind of automatically might think, oh, she's clearly the hairdresser, he's that. But then when we kind of all the different groups, they came away with different answers.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of perceived it differently, or wanted to twist the stereotype.
Yeah.
Which I quite enjoyed that kind of exercise.
And the thing is that you're going to have guests that you might choose for one reason. You might choose them because they're a hairdresser.
Right.
But I got to tell you, they will come on the show and they will blow your mind with something you never expected.
Yeah.
So in our first guest, I did not think that Mohan was going to be telling me he's been married 3 times.
That blew me away.
I was like, wow, Mohan 3 times. And then for him to say,
He wants
and
another.
actually I'm doing another one. I wasn't expecting him to say that, or to say that he'd been, mute for that long. So the thing around judging has been beneficial to you, and plus also you're working in the people referral unit, and like you quite rightly said, we get these referrals because I used to work in children and families. You get these referrals about individuals or whole families, and you're just expecting the worst case scenario, and then they show up. And it's just simply that someone hasn't understood them. So, guys, my second guess is Letitia. And then your name, I was like, I don't know if is it Letitia?
Yeah, it looks like, but sometimes the sh, TIA, is pronounced sh, not Letitia.
So it's Letitia.
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 Same as Letitia Dean, North EastEnders. She's
I see, Letitia. So we've got Letitia in the studio with us. She's an English and a life skills tutor. She works in a pupil referral unit, and she found the radio presenter training course online, and although she had to come it's a bit like a sandwich, she got there just in the middle. I do really appreciate your level of tenacity, because there were a couple of weeks where there was no trains. Do you remember there was a train strike and and the fact that you continued anyway, you knew you had to leave a little bit earlier because you travelled in a certain distance. What do you think, just a little bit of a teaser, what do you think your show might be about? Have you started to think about that?
I've thought about it. I want it to be youth-based,
Nice.
and I just want it to talk on different issues affecting young people, like teen pregnancy, like homelessness, like not fitting into kind of societal norms, that kind of thing. And then, that's the kind of
I can't wait. That's good, actually, because we've got a family show, and then we've got a math show. It's kind of a little bit in terms of education. So something in between that would be great, and maybe it might be a great idea for you to speak to the presenters that host those shows as well. But listen, it's really exciting to have you here. I'm going to try and find your song now. Let me see what song. You had 2 songs.
Yeah, it was
I might have downloaded both. So now that you're in the studio, do you have a particular feel?
Yes, it was. I think it was Beyonce EXO, or it was another one. But
Okay, so you're feeling a bit of Beyonce.
Yeah.
Okay, and why is this song your song choice? Is there anything? What was it about that song?
I think it's quite uplifting, and it's not kind of it's just not heavy. It's just kind of easy listening and kind of uplifting at the same time.
And is that the kind of music that you like to listen to?
Yeah, generally, I like kind of things that kind of make you think, but kind of have like a relaxing feel to it as well.
Okie dokie. So we are going to do EXO, which is Letitia's choice. This is an opportunity, guys, for you to start thinking about any questions you might like to ask my guest today. But it is EXO Beyonce.
My controllers here looking very carefully at the situation. Obviously a major malfunction.
Your love is bright as ever. Even in the shadows, baby, kiss me.
Okie dokie, that was a bit of Beyonce, a bit of an abrupt stop there today, but there you go. It is the show, it's the way that the show's going, and it's live radio, and I love it. So, guys, of course, my guests today, as I've mentioned earlier, are the graduates. I say that they've graduated through the theory, and now it's time to get ready for their real hard work. How are you feeling about your upcoming show?
I'll be honest, I'm excited to talk, but the technical side, watching you pressing this and that, makes me a little bit apprehensive.
Okay.
But yeah,
So the thing is, do you drive?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so when you started driving,
Yeah.
do you remember your first lesson?
Yeah, very apprehensive, very nervous.
So my first lesson was mirror signal maneuver, clutch pedal, brake pedal, accelerator. How am I going to do all of that and drive?
Exactly.
But now I can eat, I can drink, I can talk, I can look for something in my bag, and I can do all of these things whilst I'm driving. What are the things that you can do whilst you're driving?
Yeah, pretty much everything you said.
Yeah.
And then sometimes a bit, no, I'm joking. Yeah,
Sometimes doing your hair.
yeah, just, yeah, I'm very observant. And not going on.
So, to a degree, it is a bit like that. And even today, when I came in and something wasn't working, you might get in your car and you go, oh, what's happened with the wipers? Oh, the wiper's not working. Or you'll see a red light and you'll have to get your manual. What does that red light mean? It's very much like doing radio. Sometimes I come in, I get into the studio, I switch on, I remember everything, everything's wonderful, it's a great show, and I go, wow, wasn't that good? And then there are other shows where I come in and I think, if it could have gone wrong today, it did. But did my guests have a good time? Did I have a good time? Yes, I did. So the thing to comfort you around, if you're good for talk and you're up for all of that, you're going to be absolutely fine. Because there isn't a time where we're not going to just put you in the seat and say you're going live. It's not going to happen.
So I think that's the main thing. Just like the techie side, I'd say. Just, yeah.
No, it's fine. What did your friends and family say when you told them you were doing this?
They weren't too surprised, to be fair. Only because, just like from history and kind of how I've been, they weren't that surprised. They were just like, yeah, no, it's a good thing. It's a good project. Throw yourself into it. When I come back from sessions, they see I'm uplifted, I'm happy. So like, yeah, so do more of that. And I think that's what's important. Do more of what makes you feel good. Makes you happy.
And what would you say to somebody who was considering doing radio training, considering being a radio host? What might you say to them if they're feeling a bit anxious?
I would say there's like something inkling in the back of your mind that I need to do this. I'd say follow through with it, because if you don't, you might come back later and be like, oh, I was going to do that, and then you didn't, and the time's already passed. So I think listen to that little inkling, that act on it, and then you never know, you might just really enjoy it and then follow it through.
Amazing. Is there somebody that, if you could interview anybody, who would it be, and what sort of things might you ask them?
Jesus.
Okay.
But apart from Jesus, maybe, are they like dead or alive?
Dead or alive, yeah.
Oh goodness. Maybe. Goodness me, what a question. Maybe Mandela
Oh, okay.
or Henry VIII. Between the two, I find both really interesting. Henry VIII, only to get to know, did he really kill those wives? Because obviously at that time divorce wasn't allowed, so we know.
You should probably watch Columbo. It's the same sort of thing. I know who done it.
Yeah, and then just Mandela, because currently South Africa's in a lot of uproar. So just to see all the work he put in and how the country is now, just to know like how does it feel? Was there? Yeah, I think he's an interesting person.
Because I think the thing for me is that you never know where radio is going to take you. You never know whose platform you're going to share or who's going to come on your platform. You're going to be surprised probably by somebody you thought, oh, I'd have loved to interview them, but never really thought about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know about Henry VIII showing up here anytime soon, or even Mandela, but in your time of doing the show, I just want to wish you the best. I want you to be excited about what you're doing. I want you to be proud about the fact that you've got to this part, and just not to worry about the technical sides of it, because there is going to be there's going to be lots of support. And I'm telling you, this sounds a bit weird, but if I can do a radio show, I think just about anybody can do it. So when I finished my theory, so I'm in the space where you are now, and I first came into the studio. It was a different studio and a different setup. And I walked into, I was all excited. I was like, oh, I'm going to be on radio. I walked into the studio and I looked at the mixer board and I thought, oh, no, that's a real shame. I'm not going to do radio because there is no way on Judge Earth that I could manage that board. So I thought my career in radio was over. You can still see there are some marks that says mic 1, mic 2, mic 3, mic 4. Yeah. There used to be a luminous pink, a luminous yellow, and all these signs.
Does that make it easier then?
Well, just so that I could operate it, because I was just like, what am I supposed to do with this confusing board? Right. When I'm so neurodiverse, I just won't. Well, how would I do that when I'm so confused about most things anyway? So I'm here to tell you, you're in a good place. And like our first graduate, you're going to be absolutely fine. And so it's just time for you now to start thinking about who your guests are going to be. On this occasion, it'd have to be live ones now. Who your guests are going to be for the show. And I mean live living people.
Oh, right.
Because you looked a bit worried.
I was thinking, hold on a minute. Oh, yeah.
Not deceased. Live living
I'm
people.
not digging up any graves, that's fine. They'll be alive.
Well, I mean, each to their own, but I wouldn't suggest it. So get ready, find your guests, start telling your friends, because that's who you're going to be sharing your first I'm Going Lives with. But then I also will tell you a very key thing is that life starts to life for other people, and we can't rely on our sisters, our brothers to just listen to every show. although some of mine do, bless them. But you will now start to find a new audience, a new set of people, both here and internationally. So I'm going to say thank you very much. Any final words before I play a song and bring in our final graduate?
Yeah, I'll just say, just thank you. I really enjoyed the course, and just enjoyed learning all the skills and knowledge you bestowed upon us. So yeah, no, really good.
Nice, it was a pleasure, and you are no longer in the corner. I love it. So that was my second graduate, Letitia. I'm now gonna just play a quick song before bringing on my final graduate, and I'm just gonna play "Should Have Known Better," Misha Paris, just because I heard it yesterday, and I thought, oh yeah, I haven't heard this for a while, so let's take it away with Misha Paris. Come on, Misha. That's right. That's right. Okay, so that was a bit of Misha there. Let me just turn this down. Getting some feedback. That was a bit of Misha Paris. I should have known better. That just reminds me of my days of raving. Can't do so much of that now, but good old Misha, should have known better. That was the kind of song that came on about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe even later. I used to be at some raves for some ridiculous hours, to be honest, so that might have been a 6 o'clock one. But for those of you that were out there with me, I should have known better. Misha Paris, how wonderful. Now we are going to introduce our third graduate from the presenters training program. Our third graduate is joining us now, and actually just recently she's told me that she prefers to be called Ladybird. So Ladybird, welcome to the Let's Talk Show Live. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Blaze. The name, it was one that I've always had from promotions when I used to do dances and that with family members.
Oh.
It's my nickname.
So why Ladybird? What was it about that name?
I think someone gave it to me. I hope it's in line with being ladylike, or that's what I'm telling myself.
Nice. Ladybird. So Ladybird, thank you for joining us. So I know that even today you've been very busy before even getting here, and it must feel like well in the evening for you, because I know you've been up early and you've been busy. But before we get to what you've been doing today, tell me a little bit about your background. What's your cultural heritage, and tell me something about you.
Okay, so my cultural heritage, both of my parents came from the island Montserrat in the Leeward Isles,
Mm-hmm.
and they met in the UK. My dad was from the east of the island, my mum was from the north, so chances of them meeting over in Montserrat might have been pretty slim. And we were brought up in a home where it was our own family, but we also had other families there as well. So we had or how do I say the word?
Vincentians. Vincent, when they're from St. Vincent.
People from St. Vincent.
Yeah.
That's the one. We had
Vincentian, I think that might be it.
Vincentian. Apologies, people. We had them living with us as well because in those days it was a case of the Caribbean household would pay the mortgage with others living under your roof and you stayed with who you knew. So yeah, it's been a big household.
Nice, and so you've got a good fond memory of that.
I do. I'm from North London and I've enjoyed that Haringey area living style, and also originally my parents, I think it was my mum actually, late mum, she might have gone to Islington to try and find somewhere because my dad was ill at the time, and the house fell through. Short story, basically it was a case of realised who was bidding for the house and decided no, it's not available, and then she moved to Haringey. So that's really my area that I know pretty well.
And I love the story about the different families from various islands sharing one home, because that's very much how it was for a lot of our parents that came over in what's referred to, or the time that's referred to as the Windrush generation. And most of us are now first generation born here, but our parents told those stories, and I absolutely love those stories. Have you been to Montserrat?
I have been to Montserrat, but to my shame, I've done twice as a child and twice as an adult. I really do need to go back. So I haven't been back since the volcano. My sister Shirley, she was over there a couple of weeks ago, and I'm really feeling I need to be on my heritage land.
Well, that's good though, because at least you've actually been. Talk to us about the differences, because you've been as a child and you've been as an adult. What does it feel like when you're out there? What are the differences you notice between being there and being here?
What I loved about Montserrat is it has this volcanic sand, so it's black and it's unique in the sense that it's different. There are spots like Paradise Mountain, the north, which is where everyone's based these days. That was where my mum originally came from. But it's a place where people would stop if you were going into the town, which at the time when I was there was in the east of the island, and they would stop their car and offer to take you to town rather than you get in, I'm going back some time now, rather than you get in the bus, which might have been ex-Eastern Caribbean dollars or whatever. So there was very much a community, and it's, I mean, I wouldn't be jumping in someone's car.
No.
No, not in the UK.
Yeah,
I have lived outside London.
but you're right, because I remember when I first went to, my family from St Kitts and Nevis, when I first went there, I think I remember somebody stopping and we getting in the car, and I just assumed that they knew them. I was like, oh, who was that? And it's like someone that just lives down the road. I was like, what? You just get in. And even when I went to Jamaica not so long ago, this car pulled up, there was a couple of people in there, and my friend who was living out there, we just got in, and I was like, oh, you didn't even introduce me to them. She goes, no, I don't know them. I was like, why are we getting in their car? But that's kind of like a standard procedure. Like you said, I don't know whether they do that now. But there's no one, like you said, that's pulling up outside Woolston High Road or Tottenham Vale, and you're getting in their car saying you're going to East London, right?
And safeguarding policy putting on now, I wouldn't advise anyone just jumping in someone's car. But then having said that, going back to my sister's experience of Montserrat, because she's last been there, she was offered a lift by, it was the Premier, who's not in place now. I know it's Reuben Mead, but the one before, Romeo, I think. And he offered her a lift, and at first she was doing the UK thing of, I don't really know you.
Yeah.
And it was very much, which direction are you going in? So she accepted a lift, and I think it is still very much Montserrat Montserrat is a place where people might leave their front doors open, and it's part of what the community do. And I suppose more or less it's a small island and most people know each other or know of
So the
someone
culture, yeah,
else.
it's true, isn't it? The cultural difference of kind of knowing people differently. Because sometimes, you know, to be honest, actually, I can tell you now, I don't know who lives either side of me. If I saw them in Sainsbury's, I would not know that they're my neighbours. I only know who they are if I see them in the garden, like over the garden fence, or if they knock the door to say one of the children. I just don't know who they are. Whereas when we were growing up, I think it was very much like you knew who lived next door, you knew who lived on your street, and everybody knew. And if they were of Caribbean descent, or they was just your auntie, because that was just your auntie. And so now,
You know what, I completely agree with you. And also, my late mum was someone who would be buying excess amount of fruits and vegetables, and then she would send me maybe, or one of us children, down the road to drop off some fruits to the neighbour, and I'd just be thinking, I have no interest in spreading the love and sharing the beverages or whatever. But that was part of the upbringing.
but now, do you feel differently?
I do. I do. I take back my disgusting poor attitude.
My favourite fruit is no, I'm joking, but yeah, that is kind of our parents are like that, and it's nice. And as you get older, it's nice. And I guess it was what they did and how they lived in the Caribbean. But let's bring you back to the UK. Sorry, has to be done. Let's bring you back to the UK and ground you. You are in the Let's Talk show live. This is a Chalkhill Community Radio Station to hear. You're talking about your journey to becoming a radio presenter. But before we get there, we've spoken about your kind of cultural heritage, and I love the story that you've told. You've taken me right back. In fact, earlier I was talking about corned beef sandwiches. Did you lot used to have corned beef sandwiches?
Oh, yeah, we loved corned beef sandwiches. My dad would sometimes do them. But you know what? I think corned beef, you might have to remortgage your home for that.
Are they expensive? Is it expensive now?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't eaten it for years, so I don't know, but that's the nostalgia. So talk to us about your career.
So career-wise, I started off first of all as a civil servant. I know how to fill in a form. And
Good.
Yeah, left from that because I was sort of feeling, I need to do something more, and I went and worked for Mind in Haringey and studied psychology. I did a degree.
What is
BSc.
Mind? Talk to us about Mind, for those that don't know.
Is an organisation which support those who have mental health difficulties, challenges, and at the time it offered opportunities where there would be a kitchen and people could have hot meals, or they could attend courses. There's advocacy section, employment, different kinds of streams available. So while I was working there, I then decided I actually really want to study psychology, because part of it was, as a civil servant, I was maybe getting reports on individuals where the reports would be pretty much, this is what's taken place on the surface, but then I would maybe look at a psychological report and delve into that, and that was what was gripping me. So I'd done a BSc psychology, and I went on to do an MSc psychology, but both of those had lots of stats content. So it was really making sure that I had to get up to speed with the maths side of things.
So your BSc, which I also have, and I've got BSc honours actually, it's a Bachelor of Science honours degree in psychology. Did you do a 4-year study, or did you do 3? Did you do a sandwich or 3 years?
I did a sandwich, and part of that sandwich course was really fun in the sense that it took me to St George's Hospital, University of London, where I was able to, I know I was there to learn and to support and sit in on the ward rounds, but I spent a really good time playing netball with the medical
really?
students as well. Yeah.
I didn't get that in my sandwich course. I was at the Institute of Education. So for those of you that don't know, when you do a psychology degree, Bachelor of Science, if it's an honours degree, and you do a sandwich, that means you study for 4 years as opposed to 3. And you the sandwich bit is because you do a work experience year and then you finish your final. I didn't get to do anything as wonderful as netball. I was crunching figures. But yes, it was interesting. I think there was a lot to learn. I think I just learned how to name things a bit differently. But culturally, I thought that's a separate learning. What would you say?
I think culturally there was with it being a degree, there was, as I said, a lot of statistics, but there was very much the theory side. That was pretty much the essential part of the degree at the time. But there was also, like when I'd sit in on the ward rounds, and I can remember one of the psychiatrists, Dr. Eastman, he would sometimes have individuals there who might be very psychotic, or they might, in fact, in some cases, have whatever trauma they'd had in the past. And I can remember one individual who was really quite racist, and at the time,
What, a patient or a?
the patient,
Yeah.
this was the patient, and sitting in on the ward round, which had a psychologist, there was an occupational therapist, there was the psychiatrist himself, and there was myself as a psychology student at the time. And I can remember sort of having the psychiatrist have this very long conversation with the patient where it was, I hope you're okay, but would you be comfortable with sitting in on the session, because clearly I was the black person and this person had come from, I think it was South Africa at the time, and he wasn't comfortable and had a lot of hatred towards black people. Today I kind of think, well, even then at the time I sort of think, do you know what, that conversation has its place and it fitted with the context, but I also deserved to have been asked, are you okay with remaining in the room and having that space with an individual who had a lot of hatred? So I think I've learnt a lot, and I really think sometimes the cultural aspect towards psychology isn't always pretty visible.
I think you're right. I think I knew very quickly that I would get the basis, I'd get the letters after my name that would allow me to kind of navigate workspaces. But I think that the study of people from the African Caribbean diaspora is different. There's a difference culturally. There's a difference. So thank you for sharing that. What was it that led you to the radio presenters course?
I think the radio presenters course was calling me. I'd like to call it that.
Love that.
In a sense, I've done interviewing within workspaces and kind of just by default. So my friends, they run a charity, Helping Hands for Glendon, and they'd asked me to compare their mother's funeral, and I was sort of thinking, why are you asking me to do that? But in many ways, I've been using certain skills. I've been a facilitator when I worked as a trainee forensic psychologist in prisons. I had to deliver courses, and that meant I would be standing rather. I would be in front of groups of 8 or more prisoners.
Were you in a female prison or male prison?
Male prisons. I've visited female prisons in a kind of view to making sure that certain standards were being maintained. But I actually worked within prisons which were male estate. So I've done the presenting side, and I've kind of felt, even writing articles or book reviews, I love all that. I love the theatre. So it's been pretty much a joy to try and bring it around to the radio presenting. And there's an author, Jack Shreves-Lee. I was able, through work, to invite her along to one of our spaces and interview her. So there are people out there that I would just love to kind of delve into.
I think all of that it's great. And the other thing is it's about how much similarity there is. Now, it's interesting you said that the course chose you, because people say to me, how do you find your guests? How do you choose your guests? How do you match them to a show? Now, with this show, I just said to the 15 of you or whatever, I said the first person to come back to me today will be the next guest on my show. And somebody must have just had I think it was Robert, he must have had his hand on the button, Because as soon as I sent, pling, he came back within the same minute. And he was like, yep, I'm up for it. And I was like, okay. But then when the three of you started coming back, I thought, oh, you guys are just a little bit outside of Robert. So I decided then, actually, you're the next three. So I will just have you. It wasn't strategically planned. But if you notice, we've started with Mohan, who quite nicely and vulnerably, bravely shared his own journey about mental health. Then we've had Letitia talk about working with young people and maybe some of the mental health they might have gone through. And now we've got you talking about having a degree, Bachelor of Science degree in psychology, as I do. And you're talking about, you know, how you experience places. I've done some work in prisons as well. When Holloway was open, I did some work in Holloway.
I worked in the mother and baby unit.
Oh.
Well, not literally, but did some research for mother and baby units in Holloway.
And I ran a parenting program there.
I probably
Maybe our
saw-
paths crossed.
Oh, well, look at that.
You see? That's the beauty of what happens in the studio. Something amazing and creative. I used to say magic. It feels like magic, but I don't know that it's magic. But I couldn't have chosen the three of you to be more synced for this show. In fact, you guys chose yourselves, and I just said, okay, let's go with it. So that is marvelous. I love that.
And mentioning Mohan and the mutism, it's really funny, but I started thinking about Dr. Treisman, the clinical psychologist, where she said every interaction is an intervention. And just that mixing and just having conversations, that's where it can lead to that healing process, saying hello. And I've had some really lovely conversations with Mohan, so I'm kind of like seeing what he's like at the other end. He's telling me about his gardening. It's been fantastic.
And you wouldn't know if you didn't know. You wouldn't know if he didn't say. And also, not everybody has a voice. And radio allows a space for those who don't have a voice or who aren't given a voice. And that's not just talking about mutism. That's talking about people who, for whatever reason, a trauma or just because of who they are, they don't get their voice to be heard. So this platform is an opportunity for you. You can have anybody on your show, obviously within reason. You know, we've spoken about some safeguarding and that kind of thing, but that's not what I mean. You can have a conversation about anything. Somebody out there needs to hear that conversation that you're going to have on your show, whether it's a music show. Somebody might need to hear that song. Do you remember that song I played, Celebrate Me? Every person that heard that song was like, I liked that song. People were messaging me whilst I was on the show, I like that song. Who's the author? That song was a powerful song, and I know that it really resonated with me at the time. So this opportunity that you, all three of you have in front of you, is awesome and amazing. I want to talk to you also now about the thing that you're really passionate about. You were like, but Blaze, you haven't said this. And Blaze, how am I going to bring this across? And Blaze, I don't know. And can I bring can I bring my sisters, my niece? Can I bring everybody? She was so passionate. I was like, okay, well, you can't bring everybody. But I'm just...
Celebrate everyone.
Yeah. It was just like, she was just so passionate about this. She just wanted everybody to come with her. And what I'm saying to you is that you have the opportunity when you're doing your show to bring them all on. You can bring them in threes, twos, or one at a time. And that is the beauty of it. But I want you now to tell everybody what you were doing this morning and what your new passion is, because she's just busted. I know she's thinking, when is Blaze going to start talking about my thing? The show's nearly over. So, Ladybird, talk to everybody about where you were this morning and what you were doing.
Okay. I was in my local park and I had my park run, which starts for 9 in the morning. My niece, Esther, shout out to her, and my cousin Sharon, shout out to her, they run the park runs, they attend the park runs, and I've literally, this is my 7th run doing the park run, I've literally done it by default. I think I do a lot of things by default. My niece basically wanted to start doing the park runs, and Esther said to me, would I come with her and take part? So that's how I ended up doing it. I'm going back to doing things that I did possibly 15 or more years ago.
Were you into athletics before?
Yeah,
Or
so
running,
I-
that kind of thing?
And having worked near Green Park and James Park, I'm familiar with running around that area. And I kind of do things in extremes, which isn't always helpful. I'm either, I'm into step aerobics, and that's what I need to do all the time. I'm into Zumba. So at the moment, I really love the fact that the community can offer and provide so many different opportunities. There's been fitness classes which have been at our local, I say local, it's been in a centre, the Irish Centre, Graces Centre in Tottenham, North London. They've run these fitness classes, and so that was kind of like my starting point, where for more than 9 months onwards I'd been doing these fitness classes, maybe 1 or 2 a week, and so it then meant my fitness levels have gone up. But then when that came to an end, it was, what do I do next? So one of the instructors, Matthew, he does spin class. I have done spin in the past, but it's not really my grab.
Is it the seat?
I've ended up not being comfortably
Oh.
able to sit and
It's the
relax.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, am I some kind of princess? Because everybody's doing this, and I'm like, I don't get the seat thing. And you can buy like some padded leggings and seat padding. I love the idea of spinning, but the seat is something, isn't it?
Well, my cousin Sharon, she swears by spin. She loves it. And as I say, the fitness instructor Matthew that we had at the Graces Centre, he was like, you need to step it up and you need to start coming to the spin classes. So I do owe him a spin class appearance. He's in Chingford, but I can't fit it in really because I'm now doing the park runs.
Talk
And
to
I've
us though,
got
because when you were saying, I want to talk about my park runs, I'm like, well, is she just running around the park? What is this park run thing? Is it, because I do a walk when I can on a Tuesday with Nines Health and Fitness Club, raise up the fitness club group, and we walk and we talk. But you were just so enthused. What is a park run?
Now, a park run is a voluntary organised group where you can get them on a Saturday morning, start at 9, and then run throughout the entire world. So if I was in Zimbabwe, wherever, I can find my local park run. They're free and they're run by volunteers. Any of us can volunteer to run them. And basically, provided you've got the time and you've got the discipline to get yourself to the local park, once you sign up for it, you're given a barcode, and the barcode will then be able to give you your times, and you'll also be able to get a sense of how well you're doing from 1 week to the next. And it's also just so it tracks your progress.
So is it that, so you've got the barcode,
Yeah.
and say you're doing park runs in an area that you live in, and I sign up with you, but then there's a park run down here. Does my barcode become part of a group of park runs, or do I have to run at the same park every time? Does that make sense?
Do you know what, you've got me?
Okay.
I think it would maybe just be to give notice to the organisers that you want to run that park run, because I've had through work, I had to go to Liverpool, and one of the girls there who was into her park run, she ran while she was in Liverpool.
Yeah.
So it is literally, I'm pretty sure it is literally, you can just rock up, and provided you've got your barcode, that would give you access.
And can you, I say this because, in fact, I don't even know if I can run, but if I could run, could you, if I could run, or if I couldn't run and wanted to do it, is there a kind of thing where you can just do it at your own pace without pressure?
Completely. My cousin said this, and in many ways it's kind of in line with how I see things. The competition rests with myself, really. There are people who do a walk. It's going around the park 3 times, and it's really you deciding how fast, how well you go. And those who are walking it, they're going to get the outcome, which is they covered the ground. So you can run it, you can jog it, you can, I wouldn't suggest crawling, but you get round however you get round. And it's such a wonderful achievement feeling, you know what, I've done this and yeah, I can do it again.
Brilliant. I love that because sometimes there is support in numbers. Because sometimes you need some accountability. I'd spend the whole time getting ready, saying I'm going to go to the gym, and then I don't know, Loose Women would come on while I'm doing up my laces, and then next thing I'm watching the Channel 5 film, and I'm like, I should probably take my trainers off because I'm not going to the gym now.
I understand.
Do you get that,
I
right?
understand that.
Where you think you're going to go, and you're not. But if someone says, "Oh, I'm meeting you," you're generally going to meet them if they're waiting for you, or someone said, "I'll meet at the bus stop," or whatever. And I tell this story often whenever I talk about training. Big shouts out to my bestie Peter, and we used to do walking on a Tuesday, and then I started this full-time job. It was really taxing. It was down in the city, and on the way home, Peter would ring and say, "Oh, are we walking today?" And I'd be like, "Yeah," because that's how I'd sound. But by the time I did the walk, I would always feel better. I would always feel better. However tired I was, I would always feel better mentally and physically. So, guys, you have been tuned into The Graduates. It is, of course, the Let's Talk Show live with your girl Blaze. And oh my goodness, these three have just absolutely blown my mind today with their individual characters, but they have just been wonderful. Today's quote is, "If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be." And I think you would agree that all three guests have been absolutely amazing. A message from Lloyd. I can't remember what this was to now, Lloyd, because it was such a long time ago and my menopause doesn't allow me. But you were saying that you liked how someone said something about petition and always rushing off. Oh, yeah, okay. That was Letitia always rushing off, but it was because she had things to do. I think that's what you're referring to. He also says it was lovely to meet you, Letitia, at the graduation evening. I think he met all three of you, actually. You were all there. And he says that today's show is so addictive. He said he just couldn't pull himself away from listening to our three guests. Amazing show. See, you guys are going to be popping. When you guys start doing your show, you guys are going to be popping, and I can't wait. We did have a question for Letitia, which I missed, but I'm hoping she answered it. It was from Ladybird asking Letitia what she's got planned for the future, but we will find that out if we haven't. Right, okay, so it's time to go and end with your song because we are right out of time, girlie. Is there any final things you want to say? How can people get involved in the park run? Where does it happen, etc., etc.? And then whatever it was you were saying, oh no, about.
Oh, I was simply going to say, with the park runs, you can just look up park runs and go to whatever your local park is, and there'll be a Saturday morning at 9. If there was a case study done for myself, my niece, and my cousin, Sharon, basically it would show that we all have our different strategies for how we get around, but it works, and it's well worth trying it.
Fabulous. You guys are going to be great, and I've heard your voices. I've seen your style. I'm going to be like Lloyd. I'm going to be addicted. So, Ladybird, your song choice was "Feel the Love," right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to "Feel the Love" by Rudimental. Why is this your song choice?
I think it's the rhythm to it. It's just kind of like one of those where I can switch off and I'm just completely tuned into the rhythm.
That's important because music is mood altering. Do you have a song that, I don't know if you listen to headphones or listen to music when you're doing your park run?
I do. It actually, I'm not making this up, I think it helps me to run a bit faster. So I got a personal best this morning.
Nice, round of applause. I get that. Music does that thing, doesn't it? It makes you move a little bit faster.
I think they did it during slave times on the boats.
Oh, so it helped you to...
The beating.
Yeah.
That they were going to row the boat a bit faster. It's heritage.
Yeah. That's that is mood altering. Because you don't know whether that's good, not good. What is the feeling? What's that? That is mood altering. And that's
moving.
and that's the truth, isn't it? About music and conversation. And that is also the beauty and the learning. Remember we spoke about on each show you should educate and you should also entertain, and there should be information. I think we've managed to cover that. So we are going to play out with "Feel the Love." And the next time you hear from these guys, guess what? They're going to be doing their own show. They're going to be battling with the knobs. Now, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? But the next time you hear from these guys, they're going to be sat in this seat. So what do you think about that?
Excited now.
Nice. I love it. So, guys, listen. Up next at 1:30, we have got Charles with the health, wellness, and wellbeing hour. So, grab yourselves a drink and get back in your seat and listen out for that wonderful, informative show. But in the meantime, between time, it's your girl Blaze, and I'm out.